Well, I'm sure that much like me, you've been anxiously asking yourself, where is Tulsi Gabbard? No, I'm kidding. I'm sure you haven't been thinking of that, but she is the director of national intelligence. And Tulsi Gabbard has resurfaced to spread Vladimir Putin's propaganda. I know. Just when you thought, the role of DNI couldn't be twisted into something even darker, Tulsi Gabbard reappears with a full-blown propaganda video that really could have been written in Moscow by Putin's top propagandists. So we're going to look at the video that's been circulating online, where Tulsi warns Americans that political elites who she doesn't name are actively trying to provoke a nuclear war with Russia. Why would they do this? Well, according to Tulsi, because they supposedly have underground bunkers and sophisticated bomb shelters that would protect them. Now, that's not really an explanation as to why the war would benefit them, but I guess it's an explanation as to how they would survive. But consider that this is no longer some conspiracy YouTuber. This is the director of national intelligence. Arguably, although she's certainly defaced the post, arguably the top intelligence official in the United States, pushing what you would expect to hear pushed on Alex Jones's InfoWars. Okay, so let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Soil condemning survivors to agonizing deaths or lifelong suffering. A nuclear winter could follow, with smoke and ash completely blocking the sun, plunging the world into darkness and cold, killing crops and starving billions. Acid rain would scar the earth, wiping out entire ecosystems. This isn't some made-up science fiction story. This is the reality of what's at stake, what we are facing now. Because as we stand here today, closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation than ever before, political elite and warmongers are carelessly fomenting fear and tensions between nuclear powers. Perhaps it's because they are confident that they will have access to nuclear shelters for themselves and for their families that regular people won't have access to. So it's up to us, the people, to speak up and demand an end to this madness. We must reject this path to nuclear war and work toward a world where no one has to live in fear of a nuclear holocaust.
This seems more like the trailer to the latest Netflix show than it does an intelligence analysis. And I mean, it's not an intelligence analysis. This is agitprop. Or I might go further. I might call it agit trash, which I know many of you love. It is the kind of narrative that Russia has been pushing for years now. Number one, sow distrust. Number two, generate paranoia. Number three, elevate chaos in the West, where people start arguing as to which side of the Russia-Ukraine war we should be on. And it's coming from inside the American government. That's what makes it all the more grotesque, that Gabbard is doing it from a position of massive institutional power. She's not a rogue pundit. She's not a fringe YouTuber. She's the director of national intelligence, responsible for overseeing CIA, NSA, FBI, and more, sees the presidential daily brief every morning, has access to every classified threat assessment on Earth, and yet she's parroting a line that sounds ripped straight out of a Kremlin talking point memo, that the ruling class is engineering World War III so they can survive in luxury while everybody else dies. And even the way she's speaking, the ominous tone with the music and the fear-mongering, the refusal to name a single person who's actually involved in this, it all is a classic playbook: stir resentment, undermine unity, textbook authoritarian disinformation dressed up as do the patriotic thing. Now, of course, no, I don't want nuclear war. Recognizing that Russia invaded Ukraine, is the aggressor, and could end it immediately doesn't mean we want nuclear war or that Russia should be bombed or anything like it. And you really have to consider the source here, because this is the same Tulsi who spent years flirting with these Russian narratives, who many members of the House and Senate believe is actually compromised, and said so when she was nominated to be Trump's DNI, defending Assad, classic Russian narrative, trashing Ukraine, classic Russian narrative, constantly invoking regime change wars amorphously as a deflection for accountability. She has been building to this moment, and it is as bad as we could have imagined, with the ominous music and the entire thing. The difference is now she's got the US government formally behind her. And the funniest part is she refers to these shadowy elites without naming anybody. Sort of it's a version of deep state, right? She's the deep state now, in the sense that she is running the intelligence apparatus. This whole them thing, the shadowy elites, she is them. She is Trump's DNI. Trump is one of these elites. So when she says the intelligence community is corrupt or compromised or pushing war, either she's indicting herself or she's making it up. Either way, it's absolutely horrifying. When we think back to when Tulsi was first nominated for this post, and we realized she has no business anywhere near even classified information, never mind running intelligence for the United States. The sort of thing we were worried about is that as an arm of the Trump administration's disinformation apparatus, she would formalize a lot of the worst conspiracy theories and blame the victim or defend the attacker sort of ideology. And she's doing it with, I have to say, it's a pretty well-produced video as you look at it, with the graphics and the music and the dystopian language and the entire thing. She's doing exactly what we worried she would do if she got into this position. I don't like the I told you so, because we still get screwed. We were saying it, but we're still now having to deal with it. So if you've been wondering where she was, not that I really was, I was glad to see her not there, but she's back, and it's completely terrifying.